This was a love story, and it appeared like, I think he chose wrong, and then he realized it. It came to a different conclusion than I expected. How can I tell it? Let me just tell you it. It was like this man who, it was like not his first go around. It was like he fell in love with somebody, but I don't know if it was like while he was with somebody else, or there was some other obligation, or there was something. I couldn't see that, but there was like something else, something outside, something else that he kept giving his attention to, but it felt like out of obligation, or out of like thinking he was doing the right thing. Right? We talk about this so much, right? It's like a form of people pleasing. It's still manipulation. It's still from the ego, because it's still looking to be seen as the good guy, right? But ultimately, you're not the good guy. You're harming yourself. You're abandoning yourself. You're abandoning your needs, your desires, your heart's truest desire. Now, it's easy to say this when I really couldn't see what that fogginess was, because it always feels like there's that one exception. But nonetheless, this actually also felt repetitive. So anyway, that occurred. He missed out on the love because he chose to focus on something else that he felt obligated for, whatever. And so then he was seen as like, oh, so sad, oh, sad old, he lost out again. And it was like, friends and family like pitied him, like, oh, so sad, so sad. But then it happened again. And so as they're showing me this, I was like, oh, so this is his shtick. It's like he loves the woe is me. He loves to be like pitied or seen as, he likes to be seen as the good guy. Like he thinks that people look at him like, oh my God, he's always doing the right thing, because he thinks it's the right thing. Oh, he puts everybody ahead of him, and what a good guy, and he's trying to do the right thing, but he like never does the person he claims to love right by them. And he doesn't do right by himself if he's claiming he loves them and wants them, but he needs to put them on the back burner. They're not the top priority. He's not the top priority. This other thing or outside factor is. And so then he's always getting screwed, because that's the universal law. You're saying you don't matter. Your needs aren't important. You're not important. Your love's not important, but this other thing is more important. And then, of course, when your life falls apart, everybody's like, oh, such a shame. And so it gave more the feeling like he's more addicted to that. He's addicted to thinking that everybody sees him as so kind and so nice and like the good guy and oh, so righteous, and oh, so sad. He just misses out on love all the time. As you can hear, I'm a little sarcastic because I don't feel bad for this person. He's making his choices, and he's then addicted to that choice, which is manipulating. It's not the truth. It's not letting everybody see the truth, and it's not honoring him. But then everybody's ingrained, like it's hammering in. It's keeping that addiction stagnant and stuck because he's being enabled into that pattern and behavior. He's being rewarded for it. He's getting that. Oh, you're such a good guy. It's so sad you always lose out on love. But then he loves that rhetoric and he loves that storyline. And then he seems to use that storyline to also pick up other women. So then you're like, the whole thing was like, it always seems so obvious and extreme. And again, I think they do that also for me to see the point clearly, like, what is real love, right? It can be it can be crystal clear. People are making their choices all the time and they don't even see it or recognize it. Like, I don't think he realized he was addicted to the pity and the sympathy he was getting from everybody. And it was almost like he thought that was love, right? Like he was equating that to love when people baby him and pity him and nurse him. And maybe that's like a mother wound, right? He needed to be nursed. He needs to be mothered, and he loves that feeling. And so that's more important to him than actually living his life, right? He's like, it's almost like curating these environments where he looks like the good guy only to continually miss out on real love, but it's by choice. So he's not missing out on real love. He's choosing not to have it because he's more addicted to the nursing and pampering his ego, right? Like patting his, oh, you are a good guy. You're a good guy. Like, it's like, fucking hey, grow a pair. And he cannot, right? Like, this is the point. Some cannot. And they don't recognize it nor see it, right? Like, or at least in the vision, it really didn't look like it really did not look like he was conscious. I know I'm describing it like it almost sounds like, oh, he's like an idiot or malicious, like he was intentionally. No, I really don't think so. Not, or at least not in the imagery. It appeared that he was so oblivious to his wound, his ego, where he was swimming in, where he was swimming from that lack and that need. And so he was curating that environment so he could get those needs filled and fed. And I mean, many people could argue whether it's conscious or unconscious. I did not get the feeling that it was in enough awareness that it was malicious or intentional. It might have been habitual and pattern, and it was allowing me to see the clear pattern, yet I really don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but that was not how it was portrayed. It wasn't portrayed that he was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Like, it wasn't like that. It wasn't calculated, seemingly. I mean, and it doesn't really, I don't know that it matters or changes the outcome. In other words, whether he's recognizing it or not, that's what he's choosing. Maybe it wouldn't be as sad if he was aware he was choosing that. Like, in other words, maybe he wouldn't get as much sympathy if he was aware that's what he was choosing. But if he was aware that's what he was choosing, would he really be choosing it? Would he not choose to actually live in love? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's an individual. I would have to see this person in real life and I guess ask a million more questions, of which my vision did not allow for. Although I do recall there was something, that there was an engagement between us. What was that? What did he say at the end? There was something. Oh, maybe it was that. Because he came up at the end and said something. Well, it was to me, but it wasn't really, you know how they do that with me. So it was... He said, so the idea was I was the lover, right? So in that storyline. And so he said to his lover, what did he said something, maybe it was his recognition, or he chose wrong, or he I don't know, it was some awareness was brought to it. Shit, I wish I could remember the exact words. But then I recall saying, well, the good thing is hopefully you have now learned. Have you learned? We had a whole discussion about it. I said, have you learned? I hope you learned. It was something like that. That was when I started to come to, and I jumped right on because I was like, oh, that's good. That's it's like he'll keep repeating that sad story, that autopilot pattern, until he recognizes. So again, it was just placing me in the plug of his lover that he missed out on. And so when he was speaking to me, it was, I was saying, well, like, no, not going backwards. And you chose what you chose, but do you realize what you chose? Are you aware of what you did now? Are you awake to your pattern? like it would sound like, in other words, his words implied that he did, but he wasn't saying it clearly. So I was trying to ask him clearly. And then I was trying to point out, like, because it was almost like he was or he wasn't, or he was afraid to admit it or something like this, or afraid to speak that truth. And I recall then saying something along those lines, like, you know, until you do, you're stuck in that cycle. So if you really are sorry or claiming that you're so sad, and you recognize you use that shtick, that card, you pull that bullshit out all the time to gather sympathy from all those around you and have others like pamper you and nurse you and fuss over you because you want that, you know, motherly feeling, then until you recognize that and heal that, you're going to keep being in this. So you're claiming you made the mistake and it's so hurtful and you're sad and you want to change it. But if you haven't recognized and healed that actual wound, nothing will change. You'll just keep steeped in that pattern. I wish I could remember more of it. That was the end. And I came to. I started to come to, and I jumped right on. I don't know. I mean, I think we got out the main point for all of us, but I feel like there was more really good conversation at the end. Anyway. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.